Alright guys, so we've been solving equations. Unit 1 has been all about solving equations. We've solved equations with one step, we've solved equations with two steps, and now we're going to solve equations with more than two steps. That's what we call a multi-step equation. Okay, so there are a few more steps to solving these. So what are my steps to solving a multi-step equation? Step 1, I'm going to use distributive property or combine like terms on each side. So I'm going to look at the left side and the right side. I'm going to see if there's distributive, and I'm going to see if there's any combining like terms. Step 2, I want to get all variables on the same side of the equation. So we're going to move the negative or the smaller one. That's an important tip there. So you want to move the negative one or the smaller one. Step 3, we have all variables on one side. We want to get all constants on the other side of the equation. So we have variables on one, constants on the other, and then we're going to solve as normal. That's going to be a one-step equation after that. Example 1. 4n minus 2n equals 18. Okay, 4n minus 2n equals 18. Alright, so if you look at your steps to solving multi-step equations, what is the first step of all of that? Who's in 19? What's the first step? See if there's distributive property or what? Or combine like terms. Okay, so looking at the left-hand side, do you guys see distributive or combine like terms?
Yes.
Which one? Good, combine like terms. So let's do that first. What's 4n minus 2n? 2n. So we have 2n equals 18. Step 2, we want to get all variables on the same side. So let's look at both sides. Do I have all my variables on one side of the equation? Yeah, n's are on the left, constants are on the right. So this is now we can solve as normal. So what am I going to do to solve this, Jacob? You divide by what? 2. Good, divide by 2. So let's divide by 2. Everybody, 2 divided by 2 is what? 1. Very good. So that's going to give us a 1n, not a 0n. And what's 18 divided by 2? 9. That's our answer. How would I check this? Plug it in. Now this time, we actually have to plug it into two places. So let's do a quick check. That's 4 times 9 minus 2 times 9, and we wanted that to equal 18. So now this is just an order of operations problem. What's 4 times 9? 36 minus, what's 2 times 9? 18 equals 18. What's 36 minus 18, guys? 18, so we got the right answer. Okay. Okay, so example 1 was actually only 2 steps. Example 2 is going to have an extra step in there. So we have a plus 6a minus 9 equals 12. Okay, so what is the first step in all of this? What should I do first? Chu-Yi. I'm going to combine like terms. I have a 1a plus a 6a. What's that going to give me, guys? Good, 7a. Minus 9 equals 12. Okay, let's look at step 2. Step 2 says get all variables on the same side of the equation. Do I have all variables on the same side of the equation? Kaylee, are all my variables on the same side? Yeah, they are. All the a's are on the left-hand side. So step 3, we want to get all constants on the other side. So look at your constants. Are all my constants on the other side, Savannah? Well, I have a 12 on the right-hand side, but minus 9 is on the left, so what do I have to do? We want to move that minus 9 to the other side, so how would I do it? I add 9. So all my variables are on the left, which means I want all numbers or all constants on the right. But you guys see how there's a minus 9 right here? So we need to move that minus 9 to the other side. So Savannah says we need to add it, which is exactly right. Okay, why? What's negative 9 plus 9? 0. So it's gone on the left. So that gives me 7a equals 12 plus 9? Good, 21. Okay, now this looks like something we can do. What am I going to do to solve this one, Ryan? Very good. Divide by 7. Excellent. So we divide both sides by 7. Ladies and gentlemen, what is 7 divided by 7? 1. So that reduces. So we get A equals 21 divided by 7. 3. So the idea here is that we want variables, A's, X's, N's, whatever, to be all on one side, all numbers to be on the other side, because then it's just a one-step equation. We divide or multiply. Okay? So that's kind of our goal here. Alright, so let's look at example 3. 2x, or 3 times 2x minus 1 equals 17. 3 times 2x minus 1 in parentheses equals 17. What is my first step? Savannah H.
You distribute the 3.
Very good. We're going to distribute the 3, and remember, I want you guys to circle it and then draw the arrows. Remember what happened during quiz 1. Okay, so we circle that 3. 3 times 2x is going to give me 6x. 3 times negative 1 is going to give me negative 3 equals 17. Step 2 says get all variables on the same side. Are all my variables on the same side, Aaliyah? Variables. Yes, all my x's are on one side, right? What about my constants? Are my constants all on the same side? Andrew?
Yeah. No.
No, so what do I have to do? Very good. We have to add 3 to both sides. Negative 3 plus 3 gives me 0, so it goes away. So that gives me 6x equals 20. And then what do I do to solve for x? Omar. Very good. We divide by 6. Uh-oh, I see a problem. Does 6 go into 20?
No.
No, so our answer is going to be a fraction. Is that okay? Yeah, let's just reduce it as much as we can. What goes into both 6 and 20? 2. Okay, so 2 goes into 6 how many times? 3, and 2 goes into 20? 10 times. So my answer is going to be 10 over 3. Leave it as an improper fraction. It's totally okay. If you change it to a mixed number, you're just making extra work for yourself. Okay, improper fractions are completely acceptable. Okay? Alright guys, multiplying by a fraction. I have just a 1 on top, so that's going to be the same as dividing by the bottom, right? Because there's just a 1 on top. So let's distribute, because that's our first step, distribute or combine like terms. So, whenever we have a fraction, we are multiplying by the top and dividing by the bottom. So maybe let's write a note off to the side. So, for fractions, multiply the top and divide the bottom. Okay, so you multiply the top and divide the bottom. Okay, so we have 12x times 1. What's 12x times 1? 12x divided by 3? 12 divided by 3 is? 4x. Okay. And then we do the same thing to 9. What's 1 times 9? 9 divided by 3 is? 3. So plus 3 equals 27. Okay. So if there was a number besides 1 on here, you would multiply the top and then divide by the bottom. Okay. Okay, what is my next step here? I have 4x plus 3 equals 27. What's the next step, Skylar? Very good. We subtract 3 from both sides. 3 minus 3 gives me 0. And we get 4x equals 24. And then last but not least, what do I do? Nick. Very good. I divide by 4. So that's going to give me x equals 6. Example 5. 2 plus 6 times, in parentheses, x minus 3 plus 5x equals negative 60. So, first step is to do distributive property where we see it. So do you guys see distributive property anywhere? Yeah, I see it too. What are we going to be distributing? Positive 6. So circle that positive 6. Let's distribute it into the parentheses. So now we're just going to rewrite everything. That gives me 2. 6 times x is plus 6x. 6 times negative 3 is going to give me minus 18 plus 5x. That plus 5x comes straight down, equals negative 60. After we distribute, what would our next step be? We combine like terms. Where do you guys see like terms? Plus 6x and plus 5x. Anywhere else? 2 and negative 18. So we're going to combine all of that. So 6x plus 5x gives me 11x. 2 minus 18. What's that going to give me? Very good, guys. Negative 16 equals negative 60. Okay. Next, what am I going to do? Now this is a two-step easy. What's my next step? Very good. Add 16 to both sides. Negative 16 plus 16 gives me 0. 11x equals negative 60 plus 16. Am I going to add or subtract those? Subtract. So we're going to subtract, and we're going to get negative 44. Okay, last step. What do I do next? Divide by 11. Good. 11 divided by 11 gives me 1. So I get x equals negative 4. Okay, we have 5 times x plus 1 minus 3 times 2x plus 2 equals 0. What should I do first? 15. Brandon, what should I do first? Good, distribute. So we're going to distribute positive 5. And what else, guys? Positive 5 and negative 3. So please circle that negative 3 and draw your arrows. So that's going to give me 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 1 plus 5. Negative 3 times 2x. Negative 6x. And negative 3 times positive 2 is negative 6. All that equals 0. Good. Okay, what will I do next, Enrique? Good, we combine like terms. Guys, where do you see like terms? 5x and? Good, negative 6x. And positive 5 and? Negative 6. Okay, 5x minus 6x. What's that going to give me? Negative 1x. And 5 minus 6? Negative 1 equals 0. So we have negative x equals 0. Next step. What are you going to do, Celia? Add what? Very good. We are going to add 1 to both sides, because negative 1 plus 1 gives me 0. So I have a negative 1x equals positive 1. Am I done? Samantha, am I done? No. How come? I still have the negative x. So what could I do to get rid of that negative? Divide by? Well, this is an invisible negative 1, right, guys? So what will I divide by? Negative 1. So negative 1 divided by negative 1 gives me positive 1. So I'm going to get x equals 1 divided by negative 1? Negative 1. So any time that you have a negative in front of the x, you can go ahead and draw that invisible 1 there, because we need x by itself. So even that negative is keeping us from having x by itself. Okay, so draw that invisible 1, divide by negative 1. Okay, and that's going to give us our answer. Step 1 is to distribute or combine like terms where I see it. I see a distributive property here, but guys, what do I have to do whenever I see a bunch of parentheses? I have to do the outside or the inside one first? The inside. So let's look at inside those brackets. Does anybody see distributive property there? Yeah, there's an invisible what right here? 1. So I can distribute that negative 1 into the parentheses. So let's do that. And let's just rewrite what we have. So we have 2 bracket. We didn't use that 3 yet, so that comes down. Negative 1 times x is going to give me negative 1x. And negative 1 times positive 1 is going to give me minus 1. Plus 4x in the brackets equals negative 14. Okay, so I distributed negative 1 into the parentheses. So now inside the brackets, I have combined like terms. So let's rewrite the 2 brackets. In here, I have a negative x and a positive 4x, 3 and negative 1. So we're going to combine all those terms. So what's negative x plus 4x, guys? Negative 1x plus 4x. 3x, good. 3 minus 1? 2, so plus 2. Bracket equals negative 14. Okay. Now what can I do? Good, let's distribute the 2. So that's going to give me 6x plus 4 equals negative 14. And now this should be easy, right? This is a 2-step. What would I do next in my 2-step equation to solve this? Aaron? Sorry.
Subtract 4.
Good. Subtract 4. Because 4 minus 4 gives me 0. So that's going to give me 6x equals negative 18. Excellent, guys. Okay, and then my last step, what am I going to do? Very last thing to solve. Christina. Exactly. We divide by 6 on both sides. So that's going to give me x equals, everybody, negative divided by a positive is a negative 3. Okay, so not too bad, right? There are a lot of steps. So what I need you all to do, make sure that you do, is that you are showing every single step for all these problems. Some might be shorter, like the first examples, and some might be longer, like the last two. Okay, so make sure you are showing every single step. Do not try to do it in your head. Even I can't do it in my head. Okay, so show all your steps so that way, if you do make a mistake, we can figure out where that mistake was made. Okay?